Confidence is not going to come based on you dropping 30, 40 pounds and for you to be able to slip into your old pair of jeans in the closet. It just simply doesn't. I've done this for 10 plus years and we have coached over 3,000 successful career driven women inside our coaching program. And, here's the thing too, like this is something that I've, struggled with a long time ago. And I'd be lying if I say I hadn't, struggled with it any recently, especially, sometimes as a guy, it's always like a private measuring, contest, right? Like look at other men and see the car that they drive, the business success, their wealth, their body that they have. And then, sometimes I, start to feel bad about myself and then it impacts my confidence, my self-esteem, my self-worth. And what I have found is your confidence and your self-worth and your self-esteem does not come from anything external. It really doesn't. And here's what I mean by this is like for a woman, and I'll use like the pair of jeans, fitting into the old pair of jeans and not being able to is not destroying your confidence. Your confidence is being destroyed because you've probably told yourself for days, weeks, months, years upon years, for someone we've spoken to, it's decades that you're going to do something about your weight and you put it off, you procrastinate, you don't follow through. It's just all talking and no walking behind it. That is destroying your confidence because it's really hard to have high self-worth, high self-image, high level of respect for yourself when you can't even keep your own word to yourself, right? So you think when we speak to women, they think like, oh, I just need to like lose 50 pounds to get my confidence back. And it's not that the losing the 50 pounds is wrong or setting goals is wrong. I'm not saying that, but like losing that weight and putting those old pair of jeans on in your closet isn't going to give you confidence. The confidence comes from the journey because to drop 30, 40 pounds, you finally draw the line in the sand and you say enough's enough. You decide to make a change. You can't continue to live like this anymore. And then you do something about it, right? Like you make nutrition changes, you start moving your body, you exercise more consistently, you prioritize sleep, maybe you cut back on alcohol. Like there's definitely 4 or 5 things in your day-to-day, week-to-week life that you had to change for you to be able to lose that amount of weight. And that's where true confidence comes from because you have this basis of proof that you're the type of woman who can keep commitments to herself, can follow through on her own word. She's not just all talk. She can walk the walk as well. She says she's going to do something and she does it. Like that's what really builds your confidence, builds your self-esteem. Because I will tell you from personal experiences is like when you try to seek outside validation for your confidence, your self-esteem and your self-worth, it's a no win ball game. Because like think about it. Like wealth, there's only one person in the entire world that last time I checked, I think it's Elon Musk, that sits at the top of the top of the top. So like everyone that doesn't have as much money as Elon should just feel bad about themselves, right? Like if you're going to compare yourself or like, your body, there's only, arguably like, I know this is subjective, but like Mr. Olympia, right? Like if I don't hold that much muscle, it's like, well, there's only one person that can, arguably have the best body in the world every single year, right? So like where does it end? And even if you catch this person you've compared yourself to, then you're just going to try to like compare yourself to the next person that's above them, and you just find yourself in this really bad place. It's just not good. And I will tell you, and I was talking to a mentor a couple weeks ago when we talk about like goal setting and things like that. Sometimes that like gives me stress and anxiety to like you got to set these big goals. You got to, create this vision and things. And like, I think it's important to have a general direction in life of where you're trying to head, kind of have a North Star, different areas of your life, health, wealth, relationships, spiritual faith, whatever. I think that's important, but at the same time, and I speaking to him is like once you kind of have that direction, then it's just all about massive action. I was listening to a Tony Robbins podcast or whatever. I sometimes listen to the things like that when I'm working out, when I get tired of music. And I think one thing he said, and it's in the Awaken the Giant Within, is you got to get clarity, what you're trying to accomplish, What are you trying to do? What's the goal? What's the North Star? And then once you identify that, it's just massive action, massive action. And most people struggle, like most people I would say have a pretty general idea of like what they want in life, how do they kind of want to feel, where do they want to be. But then most people never get there because it comes with no action. It's just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So my whole point of saying this is, and this is just kind of a rant because it's been on top of mind, speaking to some women here beginning of the year and talk a lot about getting their confidence back. And they have this belief that like losing 50 pounds will solve all their problems in their life, and they'll feel as confident as they ever have before. And like again, it's not about losing the weight, it's about what losing that weight says about you as an individual woman. Because for you to lose weight, it means you've been consistent, you keep your commitments and promises to yourself, you follow through on what you say you're going to do, you show discipline. Those are the character traits I think we all want in some way, shape, or form to describe us. And if you're the type of woman who's put things off for a really long time and said you're going to do something about this weight, you never do, those aren't going to be character traits that you can attribute to who you are as a woman, because they wouldn't be true. And if they're not true, it's really hard to respect yourself when you don't have those character traits. I think we all want to be disciplined. I think we all want to be hard workers. I think we all want to be committed and follow through on what we say we're going to do and not just be all talk. So the key takeaways of this is more so just a rant and give you something to think about. But I truly believe this, that like a lot of women, say they struggle with their confidence. And I think it has very little to do with not being able to wear old clothes in your closet, and everything to do with the type of woman that you are. Because you can get your confidence back pretty quickly. Like we've had women in our program that I've spoken to on day one and maybe talked to a couple months in, and they're a completely different woman. They might have only lost like 10 to 15 pounds and they still have like 30, 40 more pounds to go. But gosh, do they show up different. They're smiling, they're energetic. You can tell they have a little, pep to their step. They're completely different. And it's not because they just have lost, 10 to 15 pounds. It's just because they finally followed through on what they said they were going to do. They kept commitments, they kept promises to themselves. That's what it's all about. And when you don't have that, and you've put off making a change in regards to your weight and your health and fitness for a really, really long time, and you're the type of woman who makes excuses, procrastinate, says, hey, I'm going to start Monday, I'm going to start the first of the week, the first of the month, January 1st of 2027 at this point, right? It's not a head scratcher why you have no confidence, why your self-image is in the crapper, and why your self-worth is zero. Because you have no proof that you are that person. See you on the next one. Peace.